Back another album review. Today's review is on the soundtrack for The Killer. The soundtrack was composed, produced, mixed, and programmed by Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross, aka the guys from Nine Inch Nails. The engineer was Jacob Marino. It made the soundtrack for the movie of the same name. The film was directed by David Fincher and was released on November 10th, 2023 on Netflix. It had its premiere in Venice, Italy on September 3rd of the same year. Just as a heads up, I haven't seen the movie as of the making of this video, but I just had to get the soundtrack since I'm a longtime Nine Inch Nails fan, and Reznor and Ross always knock it out of the park with their soundtracks. The soundtrack was released on November 10th, 2023 on the Knoll Corporation, but only on digital and streaming. You might be wondering how I managed to get a copy on CD. Well, the CD version was made for promotional purposes for the voting bodies of the 2023 to 2024 Film Awards season, according to what I read on Discogs. And the back of the sleeve says it says not to loan, duplicate, sell, upload, rent, or give it away. And yet I became the first user on Discogs ever to buy a copy. It was $100, but it was worth it. The copy does pop up for sale on Discogs every now and then. Now let's talk about the songs. The soundtrack starts with The Killer, which is, of course, the title track. Now, The Killer doesn't have a name and was played by Michael Fassbender in the movie. Next track is Fuck. I think it's pretty funny that they chose that name for the song. After that is The Hideout. I read that the film was based on a graphic novel series that was originally published in October of '98. That's followed by Stick to the Plan. Normally when Reznor and Ross compose a soundtrack, the songs are all instrumental. This one is no exception. We followed up with The Sunshine State. The movie has scenes that take place in Florida, specifically St. Petersburg. I haven't been there in 6 years. Next up is Consequences Are Automatic. Actions do have consequences in the real world. Up next is Empathy is Weakness. Realistically, I don't see empathy as being a weakness by any means. Right after that is Never Hesitate. I saw the soundtrack isn't even on vinyl, which is unfortunate for people who collect vinyl records. What comes next is The Brute Part 1. The Brute was played by Selah Baker in the movie. What comes after that is The Brute Part 2. Obviously, this is part 2 of the previous track. What follows is Intruder. The first time Reznor and Ross worked with David Fincher was when they made the soundtrack for The Social Network back in 2010. What's next is The Expert. This is the name of a character played by Tilda Swinton in the movie. What's after that is Gonna Have to Call You Back, Marvin. It's fair to say that Reznor and Ross are experts when it comes to composing music. The second to last track is One of the Many. Now, these guys have many other soundtracks they composed, and I only have a few of them. The soundtrack ends with Trailer. Fincher has directed several music videos over the years, including the video for Only by Nine Inch Nails. When researching the soundtrack, I read that it was number 15 on the UK soundtrack albums, and number 40 on the UK album downloads. It didn't chart anywhere else as far as I know, and it doesn't help that the physical version didn't get a wide release. Some of these guys' other soundtracks were digital only for some reason. However, I did see that the soundtrack has a 4.33 out of 5 on Discogs. Now for my thoughts. I think this is a really good soundtrack. Reznor and Ross have been composing soundtracks together for 15 years as of the making of this video. Even though they're the guys from Nine Inch Nails, they always use their actual names when composing a soundtrack. The only exception was the Tron Ares soundtrack, where they actually used the Nine Inch Nails moniker, but I'll get around to reviewing that eventually. I also wish that the physical version of the soundtrack had gotten a wider release. Regardless, I recommend checking it out. Now this part where I question you. Have you listened to the soundtrack for The Killer? If so, what do you think about it? What's your favorite song from it? If you saw the movie, what do you think about it? Did you manage to get a hold of a CD copy of the soundtrack? Let me know in the comments. If you liked the video, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Be sure to press the notification bell to notify you of future videos. Thanks for watching, and I'll be back soon with another review.